What's up? Oh my gosh, Russell is making changes to his Marketing Secrets podcast. What's going on there? We're going to dive into it. We're going to talk about it. We've got water cooler going on. We got funnel hacking with me. We got funnel hacking with Ben. And we have some hacker heroes that we want to celebrate. So let's get the intro going and we will dive in to all of.
We are part of an underground group of entrepreneurs that you've probably never even heard of before. We are funnel hackers, and these are our stories.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Funnel Hacker TV. I'll try to click on something at the same time. It's my bad. All right, so today we're going to be talking about changes that Russell's making to the Marketing Secrets podcast. So really quick, we have a water cooler moment. The water cooler, what's going on around the water cooler? What is everybody talking about at ClickFunnels HQ? It's this. Like there is something happening and Russell is changing his podcast. And this is really, really big. He dropped the details on the podcast last Friday. Sorry, Tim, I was supposed to let you do that. I'm just like zapping right now. Okay, so here's the deal. Russell did a podcast last week. So let me go ahead and find this one. If you guys are in the podcast, go ahead and go down to this one. Last Friday, he said they're going to pay you to drive traffic to your own funnels. And he goes into this in depth. If you guys are on the actual like site, you can go over to the blog. You can actually go and find the podcast episode down here. So here it is. Ba-boom. And so here is the actual like blog. So if you guys wanted to read through it, you can. We got the full transcript. You can listen to it from here if you're not subscribed on anywhere. But it's literally changing the whole way that Russell is putting all of this together. So like, Susan, can you explain this a little bit? Because he gave it details in the podcast, but he also talked about it in the inner circle. So it's like he shared it twice and we got to hear it both times.
Yeah. So this is awesome because, I mean, if you dive into this episode, the first thing Russell says is like, you know, I've been avoiding this, like doing this one thing that he's talking about for like his entire career. And he's like, okay, like I've had a change of heart. I see the benefit. We're going to do this. We're going to try this. And so, he shared basically, I'll wait till we get into the funnel hacking with Susan part, but all in all, Russell is looking for ways, like his main motivation. And we're streaming to Facebook, so I'll be careful of how I say this, but basically how to stop paying other people to get traffic, right? And so I think that's like the foundation of the ideas that he's going toward right now. But yeah, so he shared this with I think it was in the Atlas group. He went deep into what he's talking about in this podcast episode. And it's essentially like, instead of paying people to put your ads out there, why not get paid to put your content out there that leads people to your funnels, right? It's a huge mindset shift. And I think it's one that everyone can benefit from.
Yeah.
So we do want to dive in. We want to kind of funnel hack that so that you guys can funnel hack that with us. And we'll do that in a minute. What else for the that podcast episode specifically?
So Russell's always said, like, he's always had this idea that if someone else can make more money than he can on his podcast or on his YouTube channel or something else, then he doesn't deserve to have it. Like, why would I ever let anybody else present their offer to my community if I'm not making as much money as possible from my community and taking care of that? That's been the idea. That's been the goal. And so he's done everything and he hasn't monetized it. He's been like, just push it out there, get it out there, go, 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 go. No ads, none of this stuff. Well, we are shifting into the next season of the podcast. And in that season, Russell talks about all this. So first off, in the episode, go and listen to it because it's super, super valuable. We can bring that up to him if you really want. But inside of the podcast, Russell talks about not only the strategy and the realization, but he also goes through the numbers. So if you guys don't know, like we changed the YouTube channel a while ago. So he went and changed the YouTube channel. And in the YouTube channel, he did this whole video where he's like, look, I'm starting over. This is what we're doing from here on out. This is the new angle. It's about 3 months ago. And they recorded something like 10 to 12 different videos in advance of launching. And we're just starting to catch up to some things. So like the video that he dropped yesterday was about the F-bomb. Should Russell be using it? Should he? I don't know. You guys let us know what your
What
thoughts
is
are.
he?
But like, and he's got interviews in here that have been doing really, really well. He's got a couple of different strategy videos. It's more broad. It's a different angle. And all of these videos are now monetized. So he's watching the monetization go up, and he's like, this is really cool. So he made the shift over here. Well, somebody said to him, well, you have your podcast too. Why don't you monetize that? And he goes, well, what would that even look like? And so he asked someone on the team to go and connect, and they connected them with an agency, and the agency put out the numbers of what would happen if they actually monetized this channel that Russell had built. And like, what would happen if Russell were to do these podcasts more often? What would happen if they were longer? What would happen if, and so the content that's about to be flooded out to you, if you enjoy the podcast, if that is your place to go for the Russell nerdisms, then your life is about to get, like, you're going to get flooded with so much more value, because Russell's going to be doing this multiple times a week. He's going to be going for longer, and he's like getting everything aligned. And so he teases what that is in the podcast episode. So I'd highly recommend go and check that out. But then also he talks about, oh no, our brain just fried.
um, yeah. So he talks about that. He talks about how to, what he's doing with he brings up like ads. So when I don't know, let's just go into funnel hacking with Susan, because this is what I'm going to be talking about.
All right.
Thanks, Tim. Okay. So he mentions in the podcast episode also, like, like if you've been getting the Marketing Secrets newsletter recently, you may have been seeing, like, there's actually, like, I made a template of the marketing, which, Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you kind of create the newsletter, or are you just kind of in charge of filling it in? I don't know how much you're involved in it.
Russell had the idea for the layout. I went and I built it. He went and tweaked it. I finalized it, and he said, yeah, that's great. So it's kind of a back and forth. And then Eric Thomas on our team, internal Eric Thomas, not the shorts guy, but Eric Thomas on our team actually fills it in every single day.
Okay. I have this, I did not intend on doing this today, but I took the Marketing Secrets newsletter and I turned it into a template.
No.
Can we share that? I have it on my screen because I was putting it into a client's account. Do you guys want to see how I turned it into a template? Because then you can see, like, that we'll just like funnel hack the newsletter, because the reason how this is connected to what he's doing with the podcast is in the newsletter, there's a few ways that they are monetizing it. And one of the ways is like inserting their own like sponsored ads, and it could be ads like to their funnels, right? They could be adding in sponsored ads from other companies, right? Like unrelated, but they still want to like get their eyes on their stuff. Like he talks about Geico in the podcast episode. The other way that they've been monetizing the newsletter is, and we'll pull my screen up in just a second, I gotta get to the right spot, is like there's this whole strategy that actually, I don't know if you guys know who Michael Taggart is, but he works for ClickFunnels, and he's primarily fronting this whole thing with the newsletter of like, when people subscribe to your newsletter, there's this whole service that helps you to like recommend other people's newsletters, and you get paid for every person you send to these other newsletters, which is awesome. Like there's a whole thing around this. And so again, we're coming back to this, like, why not get paid for the content you're putting out there, no matter where it's at? So in the podcast, it's, inserting these, sponsored ads, same way that you're going to see them doing in the newsletter. When you opt in, you might see like sponsored ads or recommendations to go join similar newsletters. And it's awesome. So
you want me to show just a newsletter really quick? So Russell,
show the newsletter, and then we'll bring up my template version.
Okay, really quick. So I'm opening it up right now, Tim. Give me just a second. Boom. Okay, feel free to share. Let's see if we can get this to look right. Whoop, that is not looking right. Okay, we'll just go like it with this. All right, so this is the Marketing Secrets newsletter. If you're not signed up for this and you want to be, simply go over to marketingsecrets.com and put your email in here. We're getting that set up so that way you guys get this email right away. Hopefully, if you don't see it tomorrow, you'll start to see it on Monday. These go out every single day, every single business day. So we have, you have the logo at the top. You have a trivia section, which Russell really likes. If you're in the secrets of success, like the layout is very, very similar there too. This one is just simpler. It's faster. We give like, what are you going to learn in today's newsletter? You scroll down, we've got a piece of content in here. This is unique every single day. This is something taken from the books or taken from a strategy or taken from something that he's taught somewhere. We have a call to action that's usually what we're talking about inside of this. We just put a call to action to that thing so it's a little more obvious. Then underneath that, we have some things in the community like Russell's new podcast, some posts that are really valuable, which is where I often go and grab like the hacker heroes, because we're going through this daily now. We're finding your guys' posts every single day. So we go and grab that. And then he closes with trivia. And then a really quick, like, if you like this, just reply, let us know. We would appreciate a reply. It helps us massively on deliverability. Leave a comment on the newsletter if you want to. You can go and see this newsletter right here inside of the blog. So we give you a link to be able to go and check it out inside of the blog. And then we give you a reminder to go check out the podcast episode. Cool.
Okay. So you kind of went through it. I want to now show like almost kind of like what's behind what I see when I was turning that into a template.
Cool.
And so we are going to share this window. Okay. Let me see if I can make it bigger for you guys. Okay. So this is how I turned it into a template. And these are the pieces that I identified. First of all, you're going to notice a pattern. Everything is driving back to like community, the YouTube channel, and the blog. Unless there's like a specific promotion for a specific thing or offer in here, right? He always starts off with like, hey, and like the funnel hackers or like the identity. It's like reinforcing the identity of your people. And then there's always like these couple of sentences that's reminding them of like, why am I getting this thing? What's the purpose of this newsletter? It's like, hey, welcome to here's another edition of whatever newsletter that's giving you blah, 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 like super short. And then I don't know if you guys are doing this in the Marketing Secrets podcast, but sometimes we want to put in like a little personal blurb, like a little note, like, so excited for this thing, or, oh, this thing just happened to me. I'll tell you guys more about it later or whatever, right? Like you could do that right up here at the top, because the rest of this template is pretty like, it's basically curated content at this point. There's this box that, let me see if I can get that thing out of the way. The latest from the blog, link to the blog, latest from YouTube, link to your YouTube, latest post inside the community, link to your community, YouTube, blog, always driving people back to those things, because the purpose of a newsletter in my eyes is to be nurturing your list, nurturing your people, giving them somewhere to go and consume more content to continue to build that know, like, and trust, right? Yep. Title of blog. So then like stick in like a blurb from your blog, drive them back to the blog with the little like read more here link, that we typically see under those sponsored posts, right? Name of the event or the product you're promoting. It's like a little sponsored block. Then this is one of our one of our YouTube videos. Send them back to YouTube, right? Here's our latest on YouTube. Send them back. Here's some posts from the community, kind of like what we do here, and we'll do it here in a minute, of like hacker heroes. Like, here's some topics you may want to, or some posts you may want to go look into, or here's a post from Russell, or here's a post from you, like this is your newsletter. And then this is like my favorite part, and it's so genius. This last box, getting people to engage, but in like you're telling them how to engage, right? Share it with us. Reply back, right? We want people to reply back. So reply back. Tell us what you thought about this. Leave a comment, driving people to YouTube. Go share a takeaway, driving people to the community. Everything's going back to YouTube, community, and blog, where you're nurturing them. So that was my breakdown of the newsletter. And I just thought it was so awesome. I had to templatize it. Like even up here, visit the community, recent YouTube video. So hopefully that's helpful to you. But what we wanted to focus on here on today's episode is like monetize your content. If you have a newsletter that you're sending out to people, how can you get some money from that? Either like within the email, or you're doing the whole service. I don't know. I probably can mention it. I think it's called Sparkloop.
Yep.
Sparkloop is the service where you can do like basically referring people to other similar newsletters, and you get paid for the referrals. And then coming back to like podcasts, if you're driving, you can insert podcast. The newsletter didn't have podcast in here, but maybe you don't have a blog, maybe you have a YouTube channel, maybe it's podcast. Drive them to your podcast channel, and then you either YouTube or podcast, like monetize your content, get sponsors. Or one of the cool things, I'll share one more tip, and then we should move into funnel hacking with Ben. Is there is I can't remember his name. Maybe Ben, you might know because you might have seen it this last week. But I think it's Vishal. Vishal, is that his name? He kills on YouTube. He's awesome with his YouTube channel, and he always talks about like his strategy is not to turn on the monetization of his videos until like, is it like a couple months after? I don't know what's up with my video if I'm freezing for all the rest of you, but if you can still hear me, a couple of months after he's let the videos run, and then he flips on monetization. So that way he's kind of prioritizing his content to begin with, where it's like, I just want people to watch my content. I don't want them to be getting distracted with ads. I want them to have a good experience watching my video. Then later, once it's kind of run its course and my following, my subscribers have like had the chance to watch it, then I'll turn on the ads. I thought that was an interesting take on that.
Yeah,
whether you do it that way or not. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Funnel hacking with Ben. Let me go into my 2 cents on this. So first off, you should have, if you have not, you should have a copy of Traffic Secrets. You should have gotten the audio book, the physical book, something. You should be delving into this. It talks about how do we create these different drivers. Like traffic is everywhere. How do we stand in front of that traffic appropriately? Yes, you can do ads. Yes, you can do all these different things, but Traffic Secrets talks about these things. And what things are they? Tim, can we bring up my screen? We have got newsletters. Susan just walked us through newsletters. Create a newsletter so you own your own traffic. You can create a blog. So we have all the different times that we write a newsletter. We toss them into here so that way you can actually see it as a blog post as well. So we have blogs that are being built at the exact same time. We are also doing like the podcast. So every time I have a podcast going live, we turn that into a blog. Then you've got the YouTube channel that Russell built out for years. We have the podcast that Russell did. That was one of the very first channels he started with. And it's interesting, like for your job is to build out the channels, or at least build out one. Choose one and be dedicated to it. Understand the rules of that channel. Understand the strategy, the goals of that channel. Traffic Secrets teaches you all of that. Once you get a channel that's working well, once you get these things that start to grow, that's when you start to look at monetization. It's not a out of the gate strategy. This is something that you grow into. And it's something that happens on the back end that's like, once you have been able to monetize this and grow your community and create a culture with all of these different tools, that's when you're able to actually start becoming a creator and being able to be paid as a creator while at the same time promoting your different products. And so one thing that I want to take away from this as just an idea, if we can take my screen off really quick, Tim, is it's not just about channel creation. Russell went through all the different channels. We talked about this. He talked about how his YouTube channel is being monetized and how it's doing all right. Like it's getting its feet underneath it still in the monetization world. So that's still happening. You've got the blog. Is the blog being monetized? You've got the newsletter. The newsletter is being monetized. And you have the podcast. He looked across all his different things and found out that where is my best bang for my buck? Focus there. And so what I want you guys to do is, whether you're starting out your next channel, like what it is, what is you're going to build out, whether it is you're trying to figure out what your message should be, you're trying to figure out what this should be, look at all the different options and go to where you have the highest ROI. Russell is extremely ROI focused. Like that's just, he sees it as like, where am I going to get the most bang for my attention? And if we can like adopt just that idea when we put on our business hat and focus, where am I going to get the best? Well, I can go and focus on all the stuff Russell's done, or I have a past in understanding e-commerce. I'm an analyst personally. Like I got out of college as an analyst. I like Excel. And so like I lean on that when I tell my story. What is the best place for you to lean on? Usually it's not something brand new. It's not something crazy. It's something that's right in front of you that you're already ridiculously good at. Double down on that first and always look for where the ROI gets better. So focused on your ROI of every single activity you do. If you're trying to build a funnel, what kind of funnel should you build? Well, what is the best way for you to deliver an offer right now? Remember Garrett White talking about once upon a time how he was trying to build out Wake Up Warrior and what it was going to be. And he goes, I can't sell a Camry. If I'm a salesperson and I'm on a lot, I will not be able to sell a Camry. I will sell that Porsche. He goes, I can sell VIP. That's all I can sell. Like that's what I am good at. He knows his ROI. So what did he do? He sold a high ticket experience. Okay. So focus on you first. What is the best way that you can monetize your current activities in order to be able to start to grow and start to use that in order to be able to do it? What is your best impact that you can create for what you currently have? Then continue to grow into the rest. That's my 2 cents. Susan, I think we're going to have people wanting that template.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I mean, like there, just pause, play, build your template. Yeah, if you need assistance.
Yep. Take it one step at a time. And if you're not subscribed to the Marketing Secrets podcast, you can see it every single day. Do it there too. Yeah, go check it out. Cool.
All right. Should we do some hacker heroes?
Yeah, we should call out some hacker heroes really quick. All right. So here's some posts that we have from inside of the community. So let's go. Number 1, we have this post really quick from Mike Oates. Mike Oates and his wife made their first ever ClickFunnels sale yesterday. Congratulations. They literally were going to cancel their VIP offer that they had on their challenge. They had 100 different opt-ins, but last night they got 4 different people who purchased VIP, and they're like, this is our first sale. This is crazy. Can't wait to make the offer on the course, day 4 and 5, which is coming up here in the next couple of days. So it sounds surreal seeing orders coming through our funnel after 6 months of solid work, but it's happening. Keep building, keep believing. So just cheers. Congratulations. You guys all cheered them on. We absolutely love that what you're doing there. Keep going. We want to see that journey continue to grow. Another post here really quick from someone else who's succeeding. This is John Z. McGill. John Z said, we are a few sales away from qualifying for the 2 Comma Club Award. So send some good energy. We're going to get her across the finish line and go and share, go and see what it is that she's doing and be a part of that. So you guys all celebrated with her. We have 104 comments on here. This is great. So absolutely spectacular. Congratulations, Jonesy. Can't wait for you to be able to cross that finish line and see what happens next. Next, we have this post from Sam. So Sam Rose says, I'm interested to know what strategy you're using to find clients. A lot of you are selling a service. You're trying to do this digitally. How do you do it? This is like a really cool brain dump post. And there's like 75 comments on here. I was like, holy cow. And so everyone's talking about how they're doing it. I'm using AI. I'm using Instagram ads and content. Content is underestimated. It works amazingly together. For my law firm, it's in-person networking. And there's comments on this. A lot of you are like, some of you guys are funnel builders. Some of you guys are different, might be doing design. Some of you might be doing different things. Look at this post. Pay attention to this post. This post is literally for you. Thank you, Sam, for asking the question and for sharing. Super, super, super valuable post there. 2 more really quick. The first one is going to be from Nathan Hirsch. Nathan Hirsch says, give me your best copywriting tips. And this is a deluge of really good copywriting tips. I'd highly recommend go check it out. Make sure the product offer is airtight. Make sure you know who you're speaking to before you start writing sales copy, headline, sub-headline, or key, and it just keeps going from there. Really cool. Thank you, Nathan, for that one. And then one last post here really quick. This one is from Matt Pete. Matt Pete is he's spectacular. Absolutely love him. What is the coolest thing you've learned while learning about funnels so far? So while you've been in the funnel space and learning, what are the things that you have learned? We have 37 different comments. James Curran's was, I think, so cool because he's so loud in the community and he does so much. He says, I'm capable of far more than I thought. I thought that was a beautiful idea. And then I love Jeff Manson. I got to call you out that you can actually mine gold directly from Russell's podcast. Amen. Yes, you can. Make sure you guys register to the podcast because there's more gold coming. So come on into Facebook. If you want to see any of these, just go ahead and click the search bar right up here. You guys can go and check out all of these different posts. Be a part of the community. Be a part of this system that exists in order to help you succeed. We have all these different tools available for you. If you're looking for a really quick way in order to succeed, go to 2comaclubsecrets.com instead of Facebook. That is a link that's available right now. Go ahead and go there, and you can get registered right now for this. It's going to walk you through all the different strategies that are working to help you reach the 2 Comma Club award yourself. Go through here, see the different strategies that are available, and then start to publish, share. We want to be a part of your journey, whether it's inside the community or you start to build out your own channel and take some lessons from Russell, whatever that is. We can't wait to see you as you grow.
Awesome. Okay. Make sure that you're getting notified every time we go live. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Text FHTV below. Thank you, Ben, to 208-231-3797. If you notice, the text went out much faster today. Tell us if that worked better for you, if it worked well. And make sure that you also can go to funnelhacker.tv. You can get the email newsletter signed up right there. And that's it for us today. Let us know if there's any other things you want us to cover specifically. Otherwise, we will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.
My name is Russell Brunson, and I'm part of an underground group of entrepreneurs that you've probably never even heard of before. We don't rely on cash from venture capitalists to get started, and we don't even have goals to go public either. In fact, our motivation is the exact opposite. You see, we have products and services and things that we know change people's lives. But because we're fighting against the big brands, people with literally unlimited budgets, we have to do things differently. We have to do things smarter. We don't have financial safety nets because every test we take is with our own money. We have to be profitable from day number one. So how do we do that? How is that even possible? If you ask the MBAs or look at your college textbooks, they will tell you that what we are doing is impossible, yet it's happening every single day. And it's happening through an art and a science that we call funnel hacking. It's not really something that I can explain to you. It's something I have to show you. These stories are a glimpse of entrepreneurs just like you who have a dream and a vision who want to change the world in their own little way. I use the funnel hacking process to help make their dreams become a reality. Yes, we are funnel hackers, and these are our stories.